So ladies and gentlemen, what will happen here is you're going to see a video that's going to tell you a lot, and then a presenter will tell you even more. Let's please watch our first video for an outstanding newswoman and a future Hall of Famer in just moments, Victoria Bloch.
It's an unbelievable scene here. You can see a lot of the smoke billowing out from where the World Trade Towers once stood. Many Jews who live here in the West Bank believe there is a price to pay for peace. John survivors, as well as lots of other Oklahomans, say they feel like a tremendous weight has been lifted from their shoulders. John Jr. laid to rest today on what would have been his grandmother Rose Kennedy's 109th birthday. 6 Red Cross shelters remain open tonight. 2,100 homes have been waterlogged. Can you just, come on, stop! Don't make me run. I have 2 fake hips.
As for the glitz, I figure I might not skate very well, but I'm gonna look good doing it. One of the big problems here is all of these snowdrifts, and it's pretty hard to gauge how much snow there is.
You know, this trial has left everyone emotionally exhausted, and the verdict has left the families of the victims emotionally devastated. The Cardinal's resignation, an historic moment for the Vatican and for Boston, still reeling from the cover-up of a sex abuse scandal in the church, a scandal that cost Bernard Law his job and his reputation. Reporting live from Rome, live from Oklahoma City, in the West Bank, here in Buzzards Bay, reporting live from Hyannisport, live from Logan Airport, reporting live from the State House, I'm Victoria Bloch, 7 News.
I think she should be nominated for the Shelby Scott Stuck in a Storm Award, too. To present Scott McEachern, who worked with Victoria as assignment manager for TV, channel WHDH. He's now the assignment manager for NBC 10 Boston, and he's known as her work husband because they've worked together. Scott, please come forward.
Two minutes on Vicki. It's an honor to be here with everyone at the Massachusetts Broadcasters Hall of Fame, and an honor to be here for my friend Victoria Bloch. You know, I grew up listening to Vicki on the radio and watching her on TV, and when I came back to my hometown here from NBC News in New York, the one thing that frightened me the most going to Channel 7, after all the experiences I had, was working with her. Everything I did, it had to be perfect and it had to be right. And then one early morning, Vicki called me on my cell to tell me how I was right. I was right about a story. It was 5 a.m. and my world was made. And if she thinks I can do it, I really can. Since then, she's been one of my best friends, my teacher, my touchstone, my agent. She taught me not just to be an assignment editor or an assignment manager who told people where to go and what to do, but to be a journalist. She was my partner. When we were on a story, we worked it together, and we worked it to an exclusive. So much so that when she left, someone remarked, "Who'd she give all her sources to? Scott?" She also left behind glasses, coats, umbrellas, bags, lunchboxes, gloves, scarves, makeup. I mean, that drawer at the assignment desk at Channel 7 is filled with her lost and found, and I'm sure it still is. And she also left behind a legacy to be right and be honest, be aggressive, someone who breaks the rules, be a field general, be a friend, someone with a signature look, someone with class, someone you can trust, someone who's not just the talent. And don't be on her bad side. Those of us here are lucky. A legacy to be first, with first-class reporting and breaking news, and a legacy to be a trailblazing woman in our industry and in this market. She is a woman who was the reporter in Boston, the woman to beat. And I asked several women who are in our business here to give me a line about Vicki, and I had to cut them down because they all sent me paragraphs and paragraphs. Susan Tran said that Vicki exemplifies the words of broadcast journalism. She showed women like me through example. You can both have brains and be beautiful. Nicole Oliverio said she's feared and revered. She's a pit bull but kind, genuine with no agenda, tells stories for themselves and not the glory, and there's no better role model. Cheryl Fiandaca said if the statue of the girl on Wall Street taking on the bull were tall with curly hair, that would be Vicki. fearless, smart, and tenacious. And Krista Delkamp told me that she was always ready to share, support, back up, and lead wherever the situation and the team required. And she said the first time she brought her newborn son into the newsroom, the first person to cuddle him was Vicki, and she said it was like the goddess of news was blessing her child. A goddess of news, a goddess who has so many stories about her, the problem is most of them can't be told in a public audience. The time an angry man on the street stopped and yelled at her and called her a stupid, insert fresh word, and with that she responded, "Hey, I'm not stupid." Oh, okay.
I'm going to do the elbow thing.
Almost done.
Okay.
I told you, Vicki, in 2 minutes. There was a time she was at a house explosion and a fellow reporter was there for team coverage and told her he was the lead and she was the sidebar, and she said, "You most certainly are not." She was the lead. Or when she popped up on a windy Nahant causeway during storm coverage wearing a hat that read, "Bad Hair Day." She wouldn't listen to me when I told her to take it off and put on a 7 hat. But she never had a bad day, whether in Vermont, covering Captain Phillips, LA on OJ, Jerusalem for the assassination of Yitzhak Rabin, Long Island for TWA 800, the Boston Skate Club showing us her figure skating techniques, Everett for a tanker explosion, Franklin chasing down Annie Dukin, Foxborough chasing down Tom Brady, or Danvers for a nice, easy story she can just meet Dawn at. She was there for every story. Vicki, our news goddess, you never gave us a bad day. You made us all better. You are the news station.
Oh, I have the lead, which is fabulous. No B blocks for me. I hated those B blocks. Anyway, when I got the call that I was going to be inducted, I said to my husband, they must be running out of people, because 5 years into retirement, who would have imagined? So it's really sort of an out-of-body experience for me to be here and just to see so many great people. But I will say this and keep it short. I didn't get here alone. There's just no way I got here alone. I've got tables full of people that got me here. Don Nelson, Paul Doherty. I always called him Paulie because there wasn't a cable he wouldn't pull. There wasn't a light he wouldn't fix. There wasn't a light he wouldn't throw on to make everything look great. All the editors, all the photography that was done. I wrote the script, but they got it on the air. The satellite guys, they pulled it in. I mean, you just don't get here alone. So for everybody that I've worked with through the years, Drew Rikus, he'd always say, "Fix your hair." He was in the control room. I couldn't hear him, but he was the director. "Fix your hair, move a little to the left." You know, this is what makes me look good. So I didn't get here alone. And to my sister Nancy, my twin, yes, my identical twin, in case you haven't noticed. We've shared a lot of sad stories together. I'd be on the street and I'd call her. She was in the emergency room at the time, and I'd say, "You got so-and-so coming to you, it's bad." And she goes, "What are you talking about?" And 2 minutes later, she'd say, "Got a code, gotta go." So we shared some sad stories, but some very funny stories as well, because everybody, for as long as I've been on TV, thought that she was me. And so she always said, "My identity is under assault." Well, I had a boss that went into the emergency room and he wouldn't get undressed in front of her. Okay. But my favorite is when this guy had come in with renal failure and she catheterized him. And he's lying on the table with a tube coming out of him and looks up at her and says, "Aren't you the lady that does the news?" Okay? So even through the tough times, there's always a place and a way to laugh at everything. The one thing I would say to anybody that I was going to mentor today or talk to today is we're so busy with social media, you do not see what is going on in front of you. When you are texting to be first, to tweet, or to get on Facebook first, or do anything online first, you're not getting to see who these people are talking to, the body language, their expressions. And all of that is what makes a really good story. It makes a really good reporter out of you. So I would say to anybody that's in the business now or getting into it, yes, it's great to be first, but you really need to watch what's going on around you and see the people around you and their expressions, because that's really where the stories are.
So thank you so much for being here and celebrating this with me. I'm thrilled. And to my husband, Michael, who couldn't be here, he was always so great. He'd give me a big kiss in the morning and say, please be safe today. I love you, and I'm glad I'm not shooting with you. So that was it. Thank you so much.
Victoria Block.